What is going on, traders? I'm going to try to make this quick. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. I really appreciate the support lately, guys. You guys have been killing it. Let's get into the video. So, in my last video, I was pretty bullish, and I still am. I'm still somewhat bullish heading into tomorrow, even Tuesday. I still think we can see a little bit more upside. But as you guys can see, we have us on the ES 4-hour time frame. We have an inverse cup and handle pattern. And even if we're looking at the NASDAQ, it's the same thing, inverse cup and handle pattern. And if you don't know, this is a bearish pattern. So, what does this mean heading into tomorrow? Now, what do we know about Mondays? We know Mondays usually mirror Fridays, and Friday we had somewhat of a decent rally to the upside, right? So, I'm still going to stick by that until proven wrong that I do expect a little bit more upside tomorrow. Now, I'm not expecting somewhat of a rally because Mondays usually are pretty boring. We get really low volume on Mondays. So ideally, what I'm looking at here is that we somewhat consolidate heading into tomorrow and maybe start heading towards the 50 SMA, which is around one of my targets that I told you guys about, 1880. And then we start to break down. Now, the next question is, what will cause this type of drop? What will cause something like this to play out? Well, if we look at what's going on this week, Wednesday, we have a lot of news Wednesday. I mean, a lot. We have non farm payrolls, we have ISM, we have job openings, we have FOMC statement, we have a lot going on. FOMC press conference, I mean, CPI Thursday. If I had to guess, Wednesday will be the day that decides if this plays out or not. Either that or Apple earnings or a combination of both. But right now, this looks pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If we're looking at the ES, it's pretty much the same thing we're looking at here. We zoom in, and the 50 SMA is right around 5166, which in my last video or last few videos I've been giving you guys as a target to look out for. So again, we could be looking at some type of consolidation up heading into Wednesday, and then we get whatever data or whatever earnings, and then we start to drop. All right. That's what I'm looking at as far as this week so far. So I still think we're going to get a little bit more upside tomorrow, maybe even into Tuesday. But Wednesday, I would say just be careful. And I could be wrong about this. Now, what would invalidate this pattern? So, if you don't know how cup and handles work, in order to invalidate this pattern, you have to break the trend of the cup. So, if we get above, I would say 5250 on the ES, this whole pattern is completely invalidated. All right. So that doesn't mean this has to play out. We can completely invalidate this pattern. Patterns get invalidated all the time. Me personally, I don't really think so, but it is on the table. We'll keep it on the table. But if this trend is broken around 5250, if you get above 5250, bears are going to absolutely panic, leave, and we start to rally to all-time highs all over again. Okay. If we don't, and we can really just go higher than the 50 SMA again. We could just do one of these moves. Let me actually map it out so it makes sense. We could just do one of these moves. Everybody's like, "Oh, to the moon again," and then boom. Okay. So we don't have to stay in here. We absolutely do not have to stay within the handle. We can easily shoot up to about 5200, wick and form a wick and start rejecting all the way back down. So that is on the table as well. All right. So what is the measured move for this pattern? So how I measure cup and handles, and this is this is the way I do it. I think it's the more conservative way. A lot of traders tend to measure the top of the cup all the way down to the handle. I don't do that. I just measure the trend of the cup all the way to the handle. Oh, that's ugly. Here we go. And then whenever this handle breaks is where I bring the measurement down to. So if we get a red candle and we break the handle, that's the measurement for it. So we haven't broken the handle, so this is just pretty much a guessing game here. But around 5900, if we just so happen to just plummet and just drop down here. If we go further up, at some point, basically the target is between 5,000 4,900. So that's what I would be looking for if we just so happen to break the handle. The same thing goes for the ES. If we break the trend on the ES, which is around 18,350, 18,340, give or take, if we just so happen to break this trend, then this pattern is invalidated. Okay, absolutely invalidated. And again, we can absolutely do the same thing that I said before. And remember, one of my targets for the Nasdaq was 18,300, which is right where this trend is. So we could, get past the 50 SMA, and then whatever news comes in, we form a wick and we start to plummet down. Okay, so those are your two options. Okay, as far as potential downside. As far as upside, you just want to see us break and hold above 18,350. I would say 18,400, give or take. But this is scary. Okay, this is pretty scary, I would say. If we look at Bitcoin, and congratulations if you took the Bitcoin trade I put out earlier today. Um, we got in at around 63,700, and Bitcoin is we did a sell at 63,700, and Bitcoin is currently trading at about 62,900. So congratulations if you took that trade. My price target on Bitcoin is about 60K. I think at some point it's going to start heading towards 57K. So a lot of traders are really hyped about this right here, and I'm not hyped at all. I'm really not. And it's going to sound like I'm a perma bear. I promise I'm not. I still think Bitcoin is going to drop. People think that it's over because it didn't drop for the halving, but that would be too obvious. If everybody got did sell signals on the halving day, we all would be millionaires. That would be way too obvious. Why would they want that? But if we look here on Bitcoin, because I know someone out there is like, this pattern is completely valid. We broke this trend inside the pattern. I think we're going to head further down. I think we do. I think we're going to head down here to the 100 SMA at around 59K. I think that's the next move from here. And as you guys can see, I didn't make this up. As you guys can see, we broke, we retested the trend, and we're breaking down again. We break below 62K, we're heading lower. All right. And if we want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, I mean, there's your leading indicator is dropping. So, and when I say leading indicator, I mean a leading indicator for the market. So I'm really don't have much. This is just what I want to go over with you guys. Be careful this week is pretty much the point in this video. Something I feel like something's coming. Just based off this, and shout out to the Discord member that actually showed me this wasn't something I just found myself, and I had to. I think they showed me the Nasdaq one, and then I found the same thing on the ES because the ES usually sometimes majority of the time mirrors what the Nasdaq does. But hopefully you guys got something out this video. Be careful trading this week. Your best bet is to sit on your hands. And if you don't sit on your hands, then don't be surprised if you get rug pulled. All right. But other than that, that's all I have. Like, subscribe, comment. Appreciate the support, man. You guys have been killing it. I hope to provide more value as the channel grows. And that's all I got. Until the next video, traders, have a good one.